Why did this legal battle take so long, so many years, and have so many back and forths?
Well, the specific legal debate focused around two issues. The first was the nature of Vincent's wishes, which were asserted by his wife and some of his family members, but weren't documented clearly in writing. And the second was about the ethics of continuing forms of medical treatment that were prolonging his life in a state where there was no prospect of him ever recovering.
So
These types of cases have been very controversial in many countries, the US, the UK, France, Italy, over more than 30 years.
And so I guess the real bottom line of this issue is as our piece just said a few moments ago, if Vincent Lambert had expressly written his wishes down somewhere, this would never have gone on for as long as it did. Is that the key to making sure this kind of thing never happens again?
Well, I think one of the important lessons of the Lambert case is that people have different views about what they would want for themselves in this situation. And it's important, if they want those wishes to be respected, that they let their family know, and ideally that they clarify that in writing, because then there can be no debate about it.
How does France, you were mentioning other countries, how does France compare to other countries around the world in regard to end of life?
Well, there are some similarities. One thing that your correspondent mentioned is that this case raises questions about euthanasia, but most countries, most experts don't regard this as a case of euthanasia at all. This is about medical treatment that was keeping him alive, and the question was about whether to continue that treatment or not. That's sometimes called passive euthanasia, but that's quite different from active steps taken to end someone's life. In France, those active steps would be illegal. That's the same as in the UK, many parts, but not all parts of the US. Other countries, for example, Belgium and the Netherlands, will allow active steps to be taken to hasten death in situations where the patient's wishes are known.
You're a professor of medical ethics. Some people here would argue that it would have been more ethical to have given Vincent Lambert an injection instead of having him wait these 9 days between when he was effectively pulled off the machines until his moment of death. Do you feel that that's true? It would have been more ethical to have given Vincent Lambert some sort of injection to quickly end his suffering?
Well, I think one of the responses to cases like this is to say that if you know for sure that somebody is going to die, for example, when life support is withdrawn, that it's very important that they don't suffer. And one way of ensuring that their suffering is brief is to actively hasten their death. But many societies struggle with that because of the difficulty in drawing the line between those cases where we're comfortable that this is an appropriate thing to do and those cases where people are more uncomfortable. And those difficulties of drawing lines, separating out the cases where it might be ethical to actively end life and those where it's more problematic, is one that many countries struggle with.
Certainly. And France is historically a Catholic country. Vincent Lambert's parents are strict Catholics. Do you think religion is really the key issue here? Is this whole right to life, right to death debate anchored in religions like Catholicism?
Well, many of those who oppose active euthanasia, active assistance in dying, have strong religious views on the matter, but not exclusively. There are individuals, for example, with disabilities who are concerned about the impact of laws, for example, permitting assisted dying, on the choices that they will make or that they might be encouraged to make because of judgments that people make. So it's not purely about religion, but clearly religion plays a major role in these debates.
Dominic Wilkinson, thanks so much